of Engineering and Technology in the Department of Instrumentation and Control. Today's our topic is analog I/O modules, that means analog input output modules in the unit number 2, PLC hardware component. Okay. So first of all, what is the analog I/O module? Now, which type of inputs and outputs used in the PLC block diagram, that we have studied in the last session. In the input, we can connect the switch, sensors, or the level instrument, and in the output, we can connect the different types of LED, contactor. So, using this input and output module, we can identify that whatever logic given to the PLC software, that is correct or the incorrect. So today's what is the analog I/O module? So analog device represent physical quantities that can have a infinite number of values. So we can connect the analog device to the particular system that have a infinite number of values. So the analog input modules normally have the multiple input channels that allow 4, 6 or the 16 device to be interfaced with the PLC. So depending upon the requirement of the system or the plant, we can connect the 6 module or the 8 module or the 16 device to the interface with the PLC hardware. Okay, so what type of analog input and output module used in the PLC? So here just simple example is given. Here you can see that in the input they will connect the level transmitter. Okay, so our input device is the level transmitter. Now whatever input is given to the analog input module, as we discussed earlier, the input module have a number of devices connected like the 6, 8, 16. So the output of the level transmitter is going to the analog input module. Now PLC is the one type of processor, and that can the knowledge of the only the digital value. So our first target is we have to convert this analog input module data to the digital form, because in the PLC we can connect the PLC hardware to the CPU, and CPU identify only the digital value. So between the analog input module and the analog output module, we can connect the PLC and we can convert the analog data to the digital form. Now in the PLC, we can done some programming depending upon the system, and whatever output is given, we can connect to the analog output module. Now same like in the analog input module, in the output module have a multiple device connected like the 2, 4, 16, 32 device will be connected to the one analog output module. Now to the analog output module we can connect the level indicator. Now what is the function of the level indicator? It indicates the level of this particular system. So whatever the diagram, here you can see that we can transmit the level. So the level of the transmitter size is increase or decrease depending upon the input, and it show the level indicator. So if we can connect the PLC between the analog input and output module, they can convert the data to A to B converter and then D to A converter. Okay, so the main thing in the analog I/O modules is we have used two types of analog input modules. First one is the voltage sensing and the second one is the current sensing. Depending upon the input, we can connect the analog input module like the voltage sensing and the current sensing. Now the analog voltage input modules are available again in the two types. The first one is the unipolar module. What is the unipolar module? The voltage direction is any one direction. If we can connect only plus 5 volt, so that type of module is known as the unipolar module. Now the next module is the bipolar module. In the bipolar modules, the input connection is the two direction. If we can apply the system plus or minus 5 volt, that time we can connect the analog input module in the bipolar direction. Okay, so depending upon the system, we have two options: unipolar module and the bipolar modules. And depending upon the input sensing, we have two types: the voltage sensing and the current sensing. Now the next one is the special I/O module. Before that, in the analog I/O module, we can connect the twisted pair cable because the capacity of the twisted pair cable is greater to the another cable. Okay. Now we have a different application in the instrumentation and control system. So depending upon the application, suppose if we can use the level controller, so that time we can connect the level transmitter. If we can connect the pressure controller, that time we can connect the pressure transmitter. So depending upon the system requirement, we can connect the analog input module as well as the output module. If we can connect the input as a level transmitter, and if we can calculate the pressure at the output, so we cannot get the correct answer. Okay, so the next topic is the special I/O modules. That means for the particular or the specific requirement, we can connect some special type of I/O modules in these analog I/O devices. So which type of special I/O modules are in this PLC? The first one is the high speed counter module. Generally, we can connect up counter and the down counter in the PLC hardware connection. But some special or specific requirement, it requires some high speed counter. So this is the high speed counter module. It is used to count pulse from the sensors, encoders and the switches that operate at very high speed. Okay, so the typical count rate available for the high speed counter module is 0 to 100 kilohertz. That means 10 lakh pulse per second. So it is used for the special requirement. The next one is the thumb wheel module. As you are aware about the thumb wheel switch, so whenever we deal with the thumb wheel switch, that time we can connect as an analog input module, thumb wheel module. So it allows the use of thumb wheel switch for feeding information to the PLC to be sent in the control program. If we can deal with the push button switch or the on-off switch, that time we can use a simple types of input or the analog input module. But if we can connect the thumb wheel switch in the input side, that time we can use a thumb wheel module. Now the third one is the TTL module, transistor logic module. This type of transistor logic that you have studied in the digital logic system. So it allows the transmitting and receiving of the TTL logic signal. Okay, so if we can deal with the general logic symbol like the AND gate, OR gate, NOT gate, so it is the normal I/O modules. If we have deal with the TTL module, we can connect the special I/O modules. This module allows device that produce the TTL level signals to communicate with the PLC processor. Okay, next one is the encoder counter module. Now an encoder counter module allows the user to read the signals from the encoder. That means we can connect the encoder as an input side on a real time basis and store the information, so it can be read later by the counter. So it is the special requirement if we can read the signal from the system and then we can store that data and then we have to count this value. That time we can use the encoder counter module. So this is the application of the encoder counter module. The next one is the basic or ASCII module. Okay, so it runs user return basic C programming. Or okay, if we can convert some digital value to the ASCII module. That time we can use this type of module. Okay, these programming are independent of the PLC processor, and it provides the easy, fast interface between the remote device and the PLC processor. So it is used whenever we deal with the ASCII number, and it is connected with the PLC processor, and it is very easy and fast interface process. The next one is the stepper motor module. Now, generally we have used the stepper motor to count the step of the particular system. Okay, if we can deal with the hydraulic or the pneumatic valve, and for our requirement, if the hydraulic valve will be open 50% or the 25%, that time we can connect the stepper motor to this device. So the stepper motor module provides the pulse strength to the stepper motor, which enables the control of the stepper motor. Now the BCD output module. What is the BCD? Binary coded decimal. So BCD output module are generally used for the conversion enable to operate the device that require the BCD coded signal, like the 7-6 segment display. Okay. The next one is the PID module. It is the most important module used in the instrumentation. What is PID? It is the proportional integration and derivation module used in the most of the process control application that incorporate the PID algorithm, which is complex. Now in the PLC program, they are given a different layout of the PID module. So program based on the mathematical calculation. If we have deal with the PID, we have done some mathematical calculation. Next one is the motion and the position module. It is used in the application involving the accurate high-speed machining and the packaging operation. In most of the industry, they will use the motion and the position module for the packaging application. Now the last one is the communication module. It is used to establish the point-to-point communication in other intelligent devices for the exchange of the data. If we have deal with the multiple data exchange, that time we will use the communication module. Okay, so depending upon the application, we have used a special type of I/O module. Now whenever we deal with this special type of I/O module, they have a different type of specification in terms of input and output. Generally, the PLC is used 5 volt or the 12 volt DC supply, but whenever we connect this special module in the PLC with the PLC processor, the I/O specification is required. So typical discrete I/O module specification is given. The first one is the nominal input voltage. Okay, so the discrete input module voltage value specify the magnitude and the type of the user supply voltage that a module is designed to accept. So which type of module that we have used in the particular system, we can connect, or they will specify the magnitude and the type of the supply voltage. Which type of voltage that we have connect, AC or the DC. Now the input threshold voltage. Now as you know what is the threshold voltage. So whenever we deal with the threshold voltage, it specifies the two values, a minimum on stage value and a maximum off stage voltage. So what is the minimum on stage voltage at which the logic 1 is recognized as absolutely on, and a maximum off state voltage, which is voltage at which logic 0 is recognized at the absolutely off. As you know, the digital or the threshold value is work only the high or the low level. So it always specifies the two values. Now the third one is the nominal current per input. If we connect the 6 input module for the particular plant, so the minimum input current that the discrete input device must be capable for driving to operate the input circuit. So it is known as the nominal current per input. If the maximum input current required is the 12 ampere, but our circuit is operate nominal current is 5 ampere, so it is known as the nominal current per input. The next one is the ambient temperature rating. It specifies what is the maximum temperature of the air surrounding the output module should be for the base operating temperature. And the next one is the input on-off delay. Maximum time duration required by an input module circuitry to recognize that the field device has switched on for the input on delay and switch off for the input off delay. Generally, input on-off delay is used for the timer circuit. If we can connect the timer circuit in the programming, that time after what time the circuit will be on or after what time the circuit will be off, that time we have used the input on delay and input off delay. Okay. Next one is the output voltage. Specify the magnitude and types of user supply voltage at which a discrete output module is designed to operate. Same like the input voltage, we have to specify the magnitude and the types of user voltage for the output voltage. The next one is the output current, maximum current that a signal output and the modules at the whole can be safely carry under the load. Okay, because in the output side we can connect some instrument, so it is safety is main point for the output current. Inrush current, surge of current that an AC or the DC output circuit encounters when the energized inductive capacity or the filament low. So this is all about the discrete I/O module specification. The next one is the short circuit protection. Okay, it provides for the AC and DC output module by either fuse or some other current limiting circuitry. What is the leakage current? The amount of current still conducting through an output circuit even after the output has been turned off. What is the leakage current? If there is a no output, but if we can measure at the output side, we can get some type of some milliampere current. It is known as the leakage current. And the electrical isolation, it protects the low level internal circuitry of the PLC for a high voltage of the field devices. Okay, so depending upon the different applications, we can connect the I/O specification. In the next session, we will study about the different types of input module circuit and the output circuit that is actually used in the PLC programming. Thank you everyone. If anyone have doubt, then contact me in this email ID.